This is a quieter look at West Hollywood in the morning. What up, Iris? It's a little nippy out. That's okay. Just walking the dog before yoga. And that's about it, to be honest with you. She woke me up saying it's time to go potty. Good morning, Mason in Portland. Whoa. She moves pretty good for a 14-year-old dog. What up, Magic Johnson in the house? It's cold for us out here in LA. And I'm the idiot wearing shorts. Good morning, Dr. Nova. That is Lois in the house. I mean, it's cold for us. Get you a view of this. Upper 50s. Jason Glick in the house, the healthiest man I know. Now here once again is Larrabee Sound Studios. Back in the day, one of the top recording studios. Ozzy Osbourne did The Ultimate Sin there, at least parts of it, and rumored that Prince did some of Purple Rain. Lois does look pretty good. We'll hit the main boulevard. Of course, in a couple nights, this area will be pumping. New Year's Eve in West Hollywood. It's like a national holiday. There's Santee. Here comes a homeless guy, so I better watch it. You know, some of these guys, I know it's hard to believe, are unhinged. So cold, I think I'll go back inside. I miscalculated the weather. That's okay. Now this big building here used to be, all right, I know that person. We'll just go this way. That building used to be Planned Parenthood. That was like a nightclub to most stand-up comics. Those slobs. Whoa, we'll do a panoramic shot. Yes, I am Earl Skakel on the street. There's a sex shop. Now you guys are probably thinking, this guy's just walking his dog. How boring is this stream? Trust me, there's worse out there streaming right now. Here's the front of what was Larrabee Sound Studio. Now, it was supposed to be like a weed restaurant that David Arquette's sister had ownership in, but I think after the manager of the place got assaulted by a homeless guy, they kind of picked up and moved shop. So here's another business that went out of business. I knew when they were putting in a restaurant that said Kale Crazy on it, I'm like, that's not going to last very long. What's happening, Jose? 100%. The dog and the hog need to be walked. Here's the car wash I go to. Come on, Lois. Oh, the things I've seen in this alley. Whew. I mean, I don't know how. This is like a day like today where it's cold out and you're like, how do the homeless deal with this? Come on, Lois. Let's go. Hey, come on, come on. Like, it's pretty cold right now, but I can go back home into my condo, put the heater on, get nice and cozy. They don't have that option. But a lot of them are homeless by choice. You know, it's kind of like the people who always end up in prison. Come on. They're more comfortable in prison. We're not gonna look at Lois peeping. I mean, I had a friend of mine who was homeless. Thank you. And he was totally capable of getting a job. He's a good-looking dude. You know, older black dude. And I said, why don't you get a job, Eddie? Like, you've got your shit together to a degree. And he panhandled for money. If you're familiar with the LA area, a very early stream for me. But he panhandled for money on the intersection of San Vicente and Wilshire, which, ironically enough, on the opposite corner that he panhandled was the old death row offices. And whenever I'd come back from Orange County, I would take that route back home, and I'd always get stuck at the light, and I'd look over, and there was all these rappers and pit bulls, and I don't mean the singer, just hanging in the parking lot. And now I think it's an abandoned building. Can you imagine how much that place must have smelled like weed? Hey, hit the like button. And for you newbies in the stream, how about hitting the subscribe button? Lois, come on, pick up the pace. Come on. Hey, how are you, man? Hope everyone had a good Christmas. I just hung out with Lois, to be honest with you. Comedy store was closed. Kind of makes sense. Although I could have seen having one room open, just because I'm sure there were local people mostly, who wanted to go out after eating and spending the whole day with your family. You probably want to get out and blow some steam off. But, I'm sure it's also expensive to maintain the club open, I mean, my friend used to he used to manage Lance Bass's nightclub called Heart. Which we briefly walked by just now. And he told me it's $10,000 a day to open the club. Just to open it. So, all right, let's do this. I wasn't planning on a full stream this morning, but the energy is good. We'll just do a little cleanup here. Oh, no, I know that California is not cold in comparison to the rest of the country. I mean, I've told this story many a time that when I was in Winnipeg with Rob Schneider many, many moons ago, that it was minus 21 with no wind chill. So it was, like a straight minus 21. And I'll never forget this guy. I had a couple hours to kill, so I went across the street. There was a mall where the hotel was. And there was a guy on the corner in shorts and flip-flops. Now, I had on a pair of jeans and a pair of sweats over the jeans, probably a sweatshirt and two jackets on, a beanie, gloves. And the guy just looks at me and goes, "Where are you from?" I said, "Oh, Los Angeles." He just starts shaking my head going, "Pussy." So, yes, it is not cold in terms of other parts of the country. I mean, I don't really prefer a black or white Cornell, to be honest with you. Yes, that is a Sting mask right there. That is the Earl sign that was featured prominently on my IMAX streams, but not so much on the phone, the vertical streams. So now I've tried to do a vertical or a horizontal stream on my phone, but it doesn't work. But my good friend William Zoom, one of the moderators of this channel, told me that YouTube really pushes out the vertical phone streams. So, which they don't do on, say, like when I do my IMAX streams. So you live and learn. I'm still, I mean, in a real wrestling match, he probably would smoke Sting. I'm only on the East Coast when it pays really well. And unfortunately, I'm not a big enough name where a club, an A-list club, is going to give me a weekend and pay me really well. So I do quite well in the voiceover world. So I will only, say, go to New York or wherever if it's financially worth my while. Here's where I think YouTube sucks, is the 30% they take out of any streamer's pay. I mean, 30% seems excessive. I mean, to put that into perspective, maybe an elite Hollywood manager would take 20% of your income. 30 seems a bit a bit much. I don't like the WWE. I'm much more an AEW guy. I mean, their show last night, Dynamite, that was almost a pay-per-view quality card, and they give it away for free. I mean, Okada had a great match. Ospreay and Ricochet had a great match. Who was it? Commander had an upset win over Brody King. That was a good match. So 100%. I mean, I realize YouTube is 100 times the exposure, say, Rumble is. So, but getting back to the WWE question, I haven't watched WWE in a very long time. I did a quiz show about a month ago where it was WWE questions, and I think in 1 hour, there's 3 rounds, took about an hour. I don't think I got one question right. So now the old WWE days, yeah, 100%. WWF days, I'm old enough to remember, Sid and Kamala and Akeem and that stuff. But, the new era, I'm not feeling it. That's why I kind of like AEW a little more. But I think AEW has a much better roster than WWE, but they absolutely should hire Shane McMahon. I mean, the problem with AEW is really their lack of long-term storytelling. They just have like these great matches, but you don't really care who wins or loses. So you're kind of like, oh, okay. I don't have a Venmo, to be honest with you, B. All I have is PayPal, and my PayPal is very simple. It's just eskakel@aol.com. I do have a Patreon, but I'm not very active on Patreon at the moment. So I mean, I don't do these streams for money, to be honest with you. But like the other night, I made, was it Christmas Eve? I made $355 or something. So I'm certainly not expecting to make that every stream, but that was nice. But there's many ways that you can help a streamer that aren't financial. You could hit the like button. For new people who are coming to this channel, hit the subscribe button. That helps. The more subscribers you have, the more you get in the algorithm. You can comment on videos. That's all free. So, it's Slow and Steady wins the race on YouTube. I don't know who that is, uh, to be honest with you. Well, no, I mean, I think that, yes, Fajita, have a good time. Tell Tom I said hello if you made him. I'm sure it's just some back and forth negotiating. I mean, I mean, obviously Shane has a great mind for the business, and I got the feeling after watching that documentary on Netflix that him and Triple H didn't really get along that well. So I'm sure Shane would love to stick it to him, and what Shane would give AEW's instant credibility, an instant great mind for the business. And I hear through my friends in the company that Tony just does what he wants. And it's his company, he's the one who pays for everything. So I get that. But, someone like Shane, I think Tony would go, hey, what would you do here? Like if I were Tony and I hired Shane McMahon, I'd be like, hey, what would you guys do with Wardlow? We fucked this guy's character up 2 to 3 times. How would you guys handle him? How would you handle Big Bill? You guys had Big Bill in your company. Now he's just kind of Jericho's stooge, but he's way too good to like just be a sidekick. Um, so yeah, but I think the last couple of years it was Shane and Stephanie running the company. I mean, Vince had kind of checked out, from what I understand. So it would just to have that mind, to have I think what AEW doesn't have is a stopgap of someone saying to Tony Khan, that's not a good idea. We can't do that. Like the Devil storyline, and I've told this example a lot, but I think that it is the perfect situation where Shane could have helped. See ya, Jesus. Um, that was a great storyline. It was the perfect amount of time. They switched up the attackers, the 3 attacks. Um, they were all 3 different groups of attackers, so you didn't really know. Like the Devil in the first attack against Jay White was very, very slender, which a lot of people thought, oh, this is Britt Baker. And it might have been. And then in the last attack against Hangman, the Devil was jacked, man. It was either like someone like Sean Spears or like someone who's very well built. So you kind of like, I don't know who it could be. I mean, I had friends of mine who work in the WWE asking me who I thought it was. But then, the end, like on paper, it made sense that the Devil and the attackers were Cole and his crew from Ring of Honor and NXT. I mean, on paper, it made sense. But then the 2 main parts of the reveal were Adam Cole, who's got a broken ankle, so he can't really wrestle or do promos, and MJF is taking time off to heal up. So you kind of left with Roderick Strong to carry the torch. And I love Roderick Strong, but I just don't know if he was over enough to carry out a whole storyline. And then they just kind of ditched the storyline, like it just disappeared. And that's something where Shane McMahon could have said, well, this is how you could have continued it. Um, so that's where I think Shane McMahon would help. And, he'd probably do a one-off match with like a spot fest with Darby Allin. Um, Shane would do like one crazy bump and then Darby would do the rest. Or, I know MJF had mentioned that he wanted to wrestle Shane. So maybe that match. And then, he goes back from behind the scenes. What up, George? We're just talking Georgie, I'm sorry. We're just talking a little AEW wrestling, which is always a fun time in the Earl world, in the Earlverse. Of course, we'll go another couple minutes. Well, it's possible, Lance. I mean, listen, that trade they did last year for Pierre-Luc Dubois, that was a trade basically to beat McDavid and the Oilers. I think on paper the Kings thought we're going to roll out Kopitar, Deneau, Dubois, and Byfield, and there's no way McDavid can deal with that in a 7-game series, and he did. And Dubois is just an enigmatic player. He's doing good in Washington this year, but I'm sure Tom Wilson, you too, Georgie, and Ovechkin were like, "Hey, man, you're not going to fucking play lazy on our watch. This is our last run at a cup. You either are on board or you're not." So, I didn't mind the trade when it happened for the Kings. I don't think the Kings were going to beat Edmonton with Velarde, Iafallo, and Kapari anyway. So, they took a swing. They missed. But, Blake did a good move in being able to trade Dubois to Washington for number one goalie. And Kemper's played well, as has Big Save Dave. This is live, baby doll. This is stand-up comic Earl Skakel doing a live stream from his palatial condo on a Thursday morning before he goes to yoga. And sometimes we do a stream at night. The streams at night seem to be a bit more popular. I was just feeling energetic this morning, so I thought that I would do another one. But we'll go another 5 more minutes on this stream. This is just a warm-up show for maybe tonight's show. And Max Law, hit the like and subscribe button if you can be so generous. I would humbly appreciate that. I'm now known as the king of content. Happy festival and greetings from Beijing, China. That's what I love about YouTube. I'm talking to someone right now in China. How cool is that? This is the neon sign, Earl, with my Sting mask protecting it. We don't do dabble content in here. This is live, Dominic said. We're going to do about another 5 minutes. And then, thank you, Max. It helps. Every little bit helps. The algorithm is heavily what, shorts, content, and frankly, how many subscribers you have. It gets you put in the recommended videos area. So like when you go and watch a YouTube video, whether it be a music video or a hockey fight or anything, and then you look to the left of that video, there's that column with recommended videos for you. Once I start getting into that, these streams will be popping, baby. We don't do Dabbleverse content in here. I've tried very hard to keep that stuff out of this stream because there's enough streams that cover that. And I don't really think we need another stream talking about, I don't know, Ray DeVito. Dabble means you do something, but you don't do it a lot. So, like, I'm a stand-up comic. I go up many times in a week. Someone who would go up, say, once a month, you would say dabbles in comedy. Earl, the holiday season, wishing you a bounty of big beavers. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. I appreciate that. We are cooked as a generation. Well, I don't want to be that negative. I mean, I think this generation has a lot of things going for it. A lot of good things going for it. It's got a lot of bad things going for it. You look at people who are considered celebrities now. They aren't really celebrities. They're TikTok famous. They're, they're really famous for being famous. They're not really famous for a particular skill. I mean, look at the Kardashians. I mean, their skill's making money, I guess, but like, what are any of them good at? Well, Dominic, there's no need to be this negative. Yeah, Hawk Tuah, like, and listen, she was up at the Comedy Store one night. I hear she's actually really nice, and she's probably a little in awe of the attention around her, but, I mean, she's not she's famous for basically telling you how to give a good blowjob. Um, I mean, she got so big at one point, she had a crypto, like she was selling Bitcoin or something, and then it kind of crashed, and now people are suing her. So her 15 minutes be up. But there'll be another Hawk Tuah girl, and there'll be another Hawk Tuah guy, and like we're discussing anything, everything, and nothing at the same time, Jason. We don't do shout outs here. You got to pay for those, baby. Um, I mean, I don't think so. I think Canada should be a separate continent, or whatever you want to call it, a separate region. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Um, but you know, I mean, Trump, I think he's trying to buy Greenland now. I mean, he don't fuck around. He got some wacky ideas, but that's probably the only thing I like about Trump is he's a wild card, man, and I think other countries are afraid of him. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do now? Elon Musk, hero or villain? I think he's both. I mean, when you make that much money based on your technological skill set, I mean, the innovations that this guy has come up with are pretty staggering. But the villain part is he's aligned himself with Trump, and he wants something for that alignment. He's not just hanging out with Trump because he thinks Trump is a great guy. He wants something. Uh, so, well, they might be right on that, EH. I mean, really, everything in this society is monetarily based. So you're judged, at least in Los Angeles, you're judged on, like when I pull up to the Comedy Store, I'm judged. I'm not even out of my car yet, and I'm being judged. What kind of car does Earl drive? Well, who else is in the lot? And who else is driving a car that's nicer than his? And then I get out of the car and they see my outfit. Oh, he's got leather pants on. Why is he wearing leather pants? He looks ridiculous. And then who is he talking to in the parking lot? Are they famous? Are they more famous than him? Are they less famous than him? And all this is before I'm even in the fucking building. And then I get into the building. Was Earl talking to the Booker? Is the Booker talking to Earl? Why is she talking to him? What famous comics are talking to Earl? And all this is before I even hit the fucking stage. And then I'm judged for what I say on stage. And then I get off the stage. And then I'm judged on who's talking to me then. Like it's literally in the whole basis of, is Earl making money tonight? Is he hanging out with people who are making money tonight? I don't think he's a hero at all, Luigi Mangione. Um, yeah, steak is very good. A good cooked steak is awesome. In terms of Luigi, listen, I get the frustration with the health industry. I was dropped from Anthem Insurance, and I am literally the perfect model of who a healthcare provider should sign. I've never had a drug in my life, never had a drink, never had a cigarette. I mean, I am as straight edge as you can get. And they still dropped me. I don't have any pre existing heart issues or lung issues or anything like that. And they still dropped me. So you can imagine um, that someone who has a pre-existing heart issue or a kidney issue or a liver issue or a smoker, a drinker, like if I get dropped, they're getting dropped. um, so well, you'd have to ask my mom why she named me Earl. Or you'd have to ask my dad. So, because my dad's best friend at the time I was born was named Earl, so I was named Earl after him, which a lot of people are named after. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Uh, I mean, but here's the weird thing about Anthem is they said I fell behind on payments, which I did not. And then about 3 months after they dropped me, they sent me like 12 refund checks. So it's like, well, if I was behind on payments, why would you guys be sending me money? Like it made 0 sense. Uh, but so in terms of Luigi, listen, like I said, I get the frustration of people. These healthcare providers are just money making pits, and they're cut. You think YouTube is aggressive with their payment cuts? Uh, healthcare providers are thieves, but I don't think it gives you the right to kill the CEO. I mean, okay, I got fucked over by Anthem. Did I feel like killing the CEO of Anthem? No. Because what's the next step? If you get ripped off by the IRS, do you kill an IRS agent and consider it a hero? It's a slippery slope. So I've never met Carol Burnett. I never met Harvey Korman. But healthcare is like Canada has a great healthcare system. Everyone gets it. But then you got to live in Canada. Hello, just kidding. I love Canada. So, yeah, I mean, I get it. Shad, I understand why, uh, people are frustrated with the system. But, once you start going, it's okay to just shoot someone, kill someone. I just like, what's the next step? Because then it's like open season on, I mean, my car insurance, I was with Farmers Insurance for years. I mean, 25 years. And I've been driving for 38 years. In 38 years, I've gotten one ticket in 1988. No accidents. I live in a subterranean garage with great security. So it's virtually impossible to steal my car. And West Hollywood zip code is 90069. And, um, you know, every time I would get a new insurance bill from Farmers, they'd be like, hey, man, you just live in a really expensive area. And I'm like, I can understand if I lived in 90210 Beverly Hills, say Crescent Drive north of Sunset. That's an expensive area. And my rates went up almost every year. And finally, I had enough. I was like, fuck you guys. And they didn't even reach out. They could care less. They didn't even say, hey, what can we do to make this work? You've been a loyal customer for, I've been with Farmers, I think as long, maybe longer than 25 years. I mean, ever since I have been driving, I've been with them. And the fact that they didn't even put any effort in to keep me, it's like, fuck you guys. So my point is, I certainly don't think it's my right to kill the CEO of Farmers. Not really, Chevy. I mean, I could, like, it has to be pretty big print. Like, I can't read a single thing in the chat right now. Although I could read a super chat. So, you know, I mean, what happens if I broke them? I mean, I don't know. I could see, like, I could take off my glasses and I know my TV is over there and I could see it. I could see the pictures on the framed pictures everywhere, but I can't really make out what they say. So, but it's also, I would need a few minutes of adjustment without the focus of the glasses that provide me my vision. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it wouldn't be a great thing. Yeah, I mean, Trump's going to switch it up. But at least Trump is visible. I mean, where's Joe Biden the last 6 months? I mean, I don't really get into politics on here, but I mean, he might be the most invisible president I've ever seen. I mean, where the fuck is he? And then ever since Kamala got lost, where's she? Like, who's running this country right now? I mean, this might be the worst president vice president combo ever. And yes, I know Dan Quayle was vice president, but at least he was out there. So that's going to be it for now, guys. I appreciate the morning stream. Appreciate Max coming in, new to the stream. I think Chevy's new to the stream. If you are new to the stream, I would just humbly ask you to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps me. I'll tell you what, we'll go 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, just so you guys can give me a proper goodbye. And then we'll probably do another stream tonight at some point. Maybe throw out another short. I like to provide, I like to be the king of content for YouTube. J-Man Jack, $2, just being cool. Now, you guys know when you super chat, you get this. Thank you always, J-Man Jack, for your corn diff in the house. We got a celebrity in the house. $1.99 from the Corn Man. Actually, we're making fun of Vance for the comment on kids. Well, I mean, Vance is a little stiff, to be honest with you. I mean, that's why I loved Joe Rogan's interview, not with Trump, but with Vance, because he made Vance appear kind of human. Like, oh, this guy does have a personality, which is what I think really hurt Kamala. I think if she goes on Rogan, yeah, he would have been tough on her, but he was tough on Trump and Vance. So, hello and bye, Jesus. You seem to have trouble saying goodbye, but I think that, and the way she said no to Rogan, yeah, I'm too busy. But yes, she had time enough to do Saturday Night Live and saying, you can come to me and I'll give you an hour. When the biggest podcaster and interviewer in the world says, come on, you go on. Like, if you think if Joe Rogan asked me to do his podcast, I'm like, hey, Joe, can you come to California and let's do an hour? Okay. So that's, to me, why she lost. Well, I think Rogan would have been fair with her. He would have let her get her talking points out, but he also would have called her out on things like he did Trump, like he did Vance. All right. Well, good night, Max. Hit the subscribe button so you know when I go live again. I go live, very chaotically. I might go live this afternoon if I feel like it. I try and avoid going live with like MLC and those guys or, streaming. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm a stand-up comic from Los Angeles, California. So, Yash saying, I'm assuming you're from like Bangladesh or something. We got a lot of fans. We got Max is from Beijing. We got some Canadian fans in the house. So, this is an international stream of sorts. And I do apologize for you people who are all over the place. Not getting the wrestling talk. And the American TV shows that we talk about here. But welcome, hello from India. I don't think I'll ever go to India to do stand-up comedy, but anytime you are coming, anyone from the stream, anytime you're in Los Angeles, hit me up on Instagram, Earl Skakel. I'm at Earl Skakel everywhere. And I'll give you a tour of the club afterwards. You get VIP seating. Take a picture by my name on the wall. It's a good time. What do you think about India? It's very far away from me, so I don't really have a reason to go there. But I'm not against it, and it's like I want to go to London, but that's kind of far from LA. One day I want to at least make one trip in my life to go to Australia to do stand-up. I heard my humor would be quite it would go over, as they say in the wrestling world. Um, and there's other places I haven't been that I wouldn't mind going. Would be fun to go with someone, if you know what I'm saying. So, all right, guys, that is it. I appreciate the listens, the likes, the subscribes. We'll probably go online tonight. Uh, Not really. I'm not very spiritual. I only if you want me to tell a joke, uh, you have to super chat me. I can't just do jokes for free on here. Now I know a lot of people are like, well, wait a minute. Why am I going to pay for something if I don't know if it's funny or not? Well, that's the risk you take. You don't go to a comedy club and get to listen for 10 minutes and then decide if you want to pay or not. Um, so, but I will give you one impression for free. I'm a voiceover actor, and I usually charge for impressions, but this is for the gamers in the stream. 1, 2, 3. Me. EA Sports. It's in the game. I'll give you one more just because I'm in a good mood. 1, 2, 3. Me. Arby's. We've got the meats. Um, so hopefully, but thank you for understanding, Max. Some people don't quite get that. But, then if I do one joke for free, then everyone wants a joke. And then, now I've answered most of the free questions in here in my defense. So, you know, um, I do appreciate it. Thank you, J-Man Jack and Corndiff. Corndiff is a legend in the streaming world. Corndiff at any one time will have 7, 8, 900 people in his stream. I'm just a little foot soldier with 14 people in the stream. So we'll go to 15 minutes. So we'll go another 2.5 minutes. So get your last minute questions in. I can. I don't know any lines from Terminator by Schwarzenegger. I don't do great impressions, although I do impressions of Schwarzenegger in the movie Predator quite nicely. I want Hawkins' body found. We move, sweep pattern, 5-meter spread, no sound. What is the current timing of America now? Right now it's 9:01 Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast, maybe. Um, I don't know if that's what you mean by the current timing. So you got 2 more minutes. That's the current timing of the Earl World Stream. Get to the chopper. We make a stand now. There'll be no one left to get to the chopper. So, I mean, it's not the greatest Arnold impression, but there's worse. I also do impressions of everyone else in Predator. She said the same fucking thing. The jungle, it came alive and took him. Are you telling me Blaine and Hawkins were killed by a fucking lizard? Nice to meet you, Max. 10:30 p.m. Thursday night in India. That's crazy. Jesus, are you still here? You're like the one guy the other day in stream. He kept saying goodbye to me for an hour. So, you people in the stream fascinate me. Some of you. 1 more minute, guys. 1 more minute. And then the Earl World stream is done for this morning. And I go to yoga class to work on my body and my spirituality. Plus, there's a lot of hot girls in this class, and I'm like the only straight guy there. So, how would you say this? The odds are in my favor, if you know what I'm saying. See ya, Jose. This is my real voice. This is my real voice. And it's deeper in the mornings. I even can do a pretty good Darth Vader impression. Well, Calrissian, did he survive the hyperchamber process? So that's it for now, guys. Thank you again to J-Man Jack and Corndiff for your tips. This has been another edition of the Earlverse Earl Live. I'll see you in the morning.